Welcome back to the Stadium Light. And for the first time this season, Sunderland have been beaten here in a game this afternoon, which had a lot of incidents. And, we're going to go through the highlights in a second, Danny, but ultimately Sunderland come up short.
I think so, yeah. You've got to give Charlton massive credit. You think, they're having a tough time. 2 wins out of 13 before today. And we know they're up against a new manager, temporary manager in Johnny Jackson. 5 changes for them today. And give credit, I said a minute ago on air, I was just looking at their squad. I was looking at it yesterday and I'm thinking they've got good players for this level. Obviously not been performing to their potential. Whether Nigel Adkins set them up differently or not sure, but no, they came out. We got off to a good start, I felt. First 5 minutes, we had a couple of efforts. McGillivray's had to make a couple of saves, but then we came away from that and they got into the game and they had a couple of set plays. Balls were coming into the box.
Let's start to play the highlights then, because
let's have a look.
You're speaking about them there, and we see them for ourselves right here. And
this good start to the game. You see Sirkin driving forward well, gets his shot away, trying to beat McGillivray at his near post, turns it behind for the corner. Aidan O'Brien a couple of minutes later, so he does well, sits his man down. You see what he's looking to try and maybe bend it into that far corner, but it's comfortable for the keeper, straight at him. And then another one here. This is where I think this was Alex Pritchard, wasn't? Yeah, just didn't have the pace there to get on the end of it. You could give Matthews a bit of credit for getting back and dealing with the situation, but at this moment in time you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a routine sort of a performance and a win maybe, but no, credit to Charlton, they came back. This one's offside, but there was just signs there of where they were getting in, and a lot of stuff they done well came through Stockley, because he was big and he was strong. He held the ball up well. And then set plays, see there, is that Lavelle, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah.
Just getting off the back of Flanagan, was climbing over the top of him, to be fair. Lecco, who was massively impressive, I felt, throughout the 90 minutes. He went off with 10 minutes to go, but he was bright for them. And then we had a period for 10-15 minutes where we really struggled to get a grip on the game. We struggled to get out, and Charlton were good, to be fair to them.
A couple of those ones where this pass it across the face.
It's a difficult one. Yeah, he does well, Winchester. He gets in behind. I think either he's got to visit on the floor or maybe look for that pullback, because O'Brien had put the brakes on, hadn't he? It does well there, Lecco, because I think if he doesn't match the run there, Ross Stewart's got a tap in, it gets rolled across the line 6 yards out. And I think there's this one. This is Stewart, is it round the back, or Tom Flanagan? Yeah, just getting in round the back post. Again, it's a half chance really. It's not a clear-cut chance, is it? And then on the counter-attack, as we say there, Charlton a bit of pace on the counter. Flanagan gets back in, makes the block, and it was becoming stretched there at the end of that first half. Yeah, he does well here, Tom Flanagan, because that ball comes in from Famaweo. Great ball in, 6 yards out, and he's got 2 men to look after, and he just does enough to put them off. See Ross Stewart here running in behind. Again, we had a lot of those almost moments, I think, in the game. That's the problem you're asking there. We weren't quite at it, where we were nothing really clear cut in terms of chances. And no, it was a difficult one to take, because they're coming up here. We're massive favourites to pick up 3 points after what we've done in midweek and last weekend. 6 points away from home, but that's football for you, isn't it? And it's it never come off that one. I think McGeady he takes the shot on early, and I'm not saying he's got the ability to bend it into that far corner, but I'm just thinking take it on now. He's got a touch. He's driving at his man 1v1 and do a little bit more. And there's Lecco there. That was a warning sign. It's a let off, isn't it? Back post, I think it's Purrington, just ghosts in behind Carl Winchester, but he can't direct it on target. This is the header where the keeper spilled. Yeah, he just spills it, doesn't he? I think, is it Doyle there, just trying to follow it in. Made a little bit of a meal of it there, the keeper. This is the best ever, I think. Sirkin, isn't it? Gets himself into the box, it comes off the bar.
It's the closest we came all afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, shouts for a penalty. Winchester goes down early looking for it. He goes down before there's contact, I feel. And there he is again, Lecco in behind. Similar ball into what he produced before, and it's dropping round. Stockley just pokes it back to Elliot Lee, and we get bodies in there, and we manage to scramble it clear. And it was quite an open game at this stage, and here's the goal now. Again, it comes out to Lecco on this right-hand side. He chops his man, he's up against Aidan O'Brien. And he just gets a yard, it nicks up off him, and then Stockley's there. He just gives a little nudge on Tom Flanagan, who's asking for a foul. And Luke O'Neill tries to get back and almost handball it, but the ball goes in anyway. And I think, I'm not sure if we can see it back now, have another look at it, but no, we'll maybe see it back after. But yeah, I think just as Tom Flanagan's about to jump for the ball, he gets a slight nudge from Stockley. It puts him off his jump. And then we had one or two half efforts later on, didn't we? I think this one here, ball's floated in.
And we're going to see the penalty decision as well, which
yes, Ross Stewart, and it just
hangs
across
was
up
was
here.
it a head that got in the way? We'll see that soon. Diaku and Linda Gooch coming on this afternoon.
Came off, yeah, tried to give us a little bit more energy going forward, didn't they? Is it Diaku there? No, just another one. It's not a bad ball, and again, that one Aidan McGeady this time, I think it is. Ross Stewart makes the run across. I think defender does well, just gets across Ross Stewart, and then Diaku's not there at the far post to follow it in. And he's there again, and it's another one, isn't it? It's just another yard or two there, and Ross Stewart's got a tap in at the far post, but that's pretty much the story of the game, isn't it? Where we get into some good areas.
Is this a handball?
This is the one, isn't it? Now it's good play, and as he fires it across, again, it's difficult with this camera angle. He gets there, Ross Stewart. I think Jason Pearce is on the stretch.
Catches on the half volley.
When we see it at first, it looks like it's hit him in the face because his arm, when it does hit him, it's right in behind. It's in behind his head, isn't it? So we can't see whether it's hit him on his bicep, on his shoulder.
So from that angle,
but what it does, you see Ross Stewart. You go off Ross's reaction.
There was no. At no point did Pearce put his hands to his face
straight away until we seen him a few seconds later when he stayed down holding his face, didn't he? That one there, it's good play from Diaku. It's a good ball over the top from McGeady. And he rolls his man, comes back out, and if that's in the top corner, then it's a leveller because the keeper's beat. And there's Charlton again, just on the counter attack, and it's a comfortable one for Hoffman at his near post. And late on, we obviously went a little bit more direct later on. I think this is a foul there. Referee's got to go back to that because Fambueo's got too tight. He's been rolled, and he stops Lyndon Gooch getting on the end of that. It slows him down. Purrington then gets there before him, but that's a foul for me. And he did miss one or two of those little ones, referee. You see Lee Johnson get frustrated at the end of the game. The crowd reaction, the referee's getting some boos. Maybe there was a few between Stockley and Luke O'Nien throughout the whole game where Luke's trying to compete with him for them loose balls. A few went his way, a few never. But I think over the course of the 90 minutes, you can't really argue. I think Charlton have come up here after the season they're having, give a good account of themselves, and they were maybe good value for the win, if we're honest.
Let's see the other scores from in and around EFL League One then, if we can. This afternoon, it's finished Accrington 2, Portsmouth 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, Wigan 2, Bolton 2, Gillingham 2, Burton 1, Oxford United 3, Doncaster 3, Cheltenham 2, Ipswich 2, Fleetwood 1, MK Dons 0, Rotherham 3, Morecambe 1, Plymouth 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Lincoln 1, Shrewsbury 4, Cambridge United 1, Wycombe 2, Crewe Alexandra 1.
Yeah, well, big wins for Wigan, Wycombe, Rotherham, all picking up points around us, and then obviously the league leaders themselves, Plymouth, held to a draw. So yeah, results haven't gone great for us there. We've obviously let ourselves down, but we'll have to see how it leaves us.
Let's have a look then at the league table. Sunderland sit fourth, played 13 on 28 points. Above them, Wigan played the same amount of games on the same amount of points. And then 2 points better off are Wycombe and Plymouth. One of them has played one more. Plymouth have played 2 more.
Yeah, still tight, isn't it? I think you're looking at Rotherham as well. Obviously played a game more than us as well. But they're coming up the rails, having a good run of form themselves. And it's just a tight pack at the minute, isn't it, really? Just looking at the Championship, I think Fulham are 4 points clear already. But if you're looking at that, obviously a game or two in hand for some teams. Plymouth played 1 game, 2 more than others, but it's still tight and it's still early days.
Thanks, Danny. That's the league table this evening. Let's have your thoughts now as we look at your hashtags and hashtag Ask Danny. We can discuss anything from the game, so let's do so. This is the first one from John. Charlton keeping the Loch Ness Drogba quiet today. I'd prefer him to play alongside someone. Who do you think would suit playing alongside him?
Well, the obvious one is Broadhead. He's the only other real natural striker, really, isn't he? But he's unfortunately picked up the injury. Had a great game against Cheltenham. Set up a lot of the goals, was involved heavily, and unfortunately picked up an injury. So hopefully he's not too far away. But yeah, I wouldn't go into questioning the formation too much. Yes, we've had a disappointing result today, but it's the same formation, the same starting 11 that played at Crewe on Tuesday night and delivered for us. So in hindsight, you can always look back straight away after the game and you can look and think, what could we have done differently? And I'm sure Lee Johnson and the staff will do that as well. But sometimes it comes down to the players, and I think Charlton have upped their game today, lost their manager in the week. Maybe feel like they owe him one because they've not been performing. Johnny Jackson takes over. They're obviously coming up here today to try and impress him if he gets the job permanently. So that gives them a lift. They had a good following there today, and they give a good account of themselves. From our point of view, we had a lot of almost minutes in the game and opportunities, really. Nothing really clear-cut. Sirkin's the best effort in terms of he's hit the woodwork. That's a half chance as well from created. He's on the underlap and he strikes the ball, but unfortunately it didn't go in. There was other opportunities. The penalty shout, it's a difficult one. We've looked at it 3 or 4 times and we're still unsure. It's on the blind side of the camera angle, the only camera angle what we've got of looking at it. So we can question a lot of things. I wouldn't straight away start questioning the formation. You had Pritchard in there in alongside or just in behind Ross today. A quietish game for Pritchard. I thought Aidan McGeady, some things come off for him, some things didn't. Just if you analyse people's individual performances, we didn't quite have those 7, 8 out of 10s which we have done in recent weeks. That's how football goes.
Let's move on to the next one then, please. From Ben, he says, do you think Sunderland would be better off if VAR was in League One? Every game there's at least one decision that's so blatantly obvious that the referee misses, or outside of VAR's remit. Teams taking inordinate amounts of time to restart play, going unpunished. Well, there was a couple of yellow cards. We saw one yellow card at least for that, Perrington picking up on the far side.
Yeah, for time wasting with a throw-in, yeah.
In terms of VAR, would that have picked up the possible penalty for Sunderland? I mean, we've watched it back about 10 times now, and it's still not clear-cut. However, the more you look at it, the more it suggests it might have hit the bicep area of Pearce.
I think, well, you're not going to have VAR in League One. Let's forget that. You're looking at the money involved and the
infrastructure,
grounds,
the grounds,
everything as well. Yeah, it's not even in the Championship yet, is it? So no, I think you can forget that idea. And yeah, he's obviously questioning a few of the referees' decisions out there today. And even if going off there, if you had VAR, they've only got that one camera to look at. We've had to look at it 4 or 5 times. It's not. You can't definitely say it's. It doesn't look like it's hit him in the face. His arm's up behind, and it's on the blind side of the camera. So it probably has hit him up around his shoulder stroke bicep, as we say. He's 2 yards away. They're ones anyway. Sometimes they'll get given, sometimes they won't. But I think we're clutching a little bit on that one. If that's the best we're going off over the 90 minutes, we're hoping on a half shout at a penalty to get us back into the game. So, yeah, difficult ones. And as you mentioned, there were a few. Lee Johnson was getting frustrated. He got a yellow card.
He did.
Luke O'Nien had a lot of tussles with Jayden Stockley in the middle of the pitch going up for those headers. That was going on all afternoon. Some of them he got, some he never. Some Stockley went his favour. So there's not too many others I perhaps question from the referee from our point of view. I think we've got to look at it and analyse it from our point of view, if we're honest. And we weren't quite at it today. We didn't do enough to win the game, I don't think.
Okay, thanks, Danny. Let's move on to another one then, please. From Mac, our friend from Poland, who says, last time Sunderland almost lost 1-0 to Charlton at the Stadium of Light. This is a very disappointing result. The more that Wigan beat Wimbledon and also has 28 points, just like Sunderland. What do you think about the referee's work? I think it's another question about the referee in general.
Well, he's asking about the referee. He's looking at other teams' results. And, of course, you do that anyway after the game. We've just done it now. You're looking at your teams in and around you. But Wigan lost in the week and we won, so that's how it's going to be. You look at Portsmouth, they beat us 4-0, and then I think they lost 4-1 and 4-0 themselves. So it's a strange league and strange results. It's just trying to get that consistency, and we've pretty much had that up until now. That's what our second, third defeat of the season. Third defeat of the season.
First defeat at home.
Yeah, first defeat at home. So we've been great here. I think we've won all the games at home. So it's a bitter pill to swallow. Of course it is. We want to be winning as many games at home. Of course we do, and make it a fortress. Difficult for teams to come up here and play. But I just don't feel we had that intensity here today. We didn't really suffocate Charlton for any sustained periods throughout the game, did we? We had a 5 minutes at the start of the game, then Charlton came into it. We had a little bit of a rally towards the end of the half. Second half was scrappy, wasn't it, at the start? You said there it was 3-4 touches. Each team were giving it away. So I don't really feel like we dominated possession or a period of the game long enough today. We didn't box them in. We didn't make them defend well enough, really. That everything was quite comfortable for them at the back. Where Lavelle went off, then Pearce has to come on. He done okay alongside Famuyiwa at the back there. And then he's asking again about the referee at the end. And I never really, if there's anything obvious, I'll pick up on it, like the one on Tuesday night where Denver Hume gets halved in his calf. and the referee gives a throw in. That was a strange decision, but today I'm not too sure. There was one or two incidents on the far side where the linesman could have helped the referee out maybe. The one with Corey Evans off the ball, we didn't see it, did we? Because play went on for a good 30 seconds, I think, after that incident. So we didn't really see what went on, and we didn't get a replay of it. But no, I think I wouldn't look too much at the referee for me. You can maybe question one decisions. The penalty's the prime example. But overall, over the course of that 90 minutes there, analyse our performance, and we weren't quite at it today for me.
Thanks, Danny. Let's move on to another hashtag Ask Danny then, from Lawrence. When we are being pressed like we have been today, should we use an alternative to playing out from the back?
I think Charlton pressed us in fits and starts, really. I think early on in the game they did, but we played out quite well. We went into Luke 09, back to play. I know fans in grounds, they look at them, and sometimes it's a bit of a, as it's played in, Hoffman's plays it into Luke 09. He's 25 yards out, he's got a man steaming in behind him, and it can go wrong, but you're backing your players. That's the way that they're working on the training ground. Lee Johnson's going through these situations on the training pitch where the centre halves are splitting, full-backs are out wide, and you look to pop it in to go out the other side for a triangle. And the reason you're doing that is because you're wanting Charlton to come onto you. You're wanting them to squeeze up high up, and that creates that ball to drop in behind. As I say, we nearly got in first half. I think Doyle played it down the line where we played 3 or 4 passes at the back. It come to Callum Doyle. They pressed about 7 or 8 bodies. And if he plays a better ball, it just went out of play on the far side. If he plays a better ball to Ross Stewart, we're almost 2v2 or 3v3. And that's what you have to do. It's almost a bit of cat and mouse, really. Yeah. But that's what teams do. Now, we've seen teams last season coming up to the stadium, like trying to do it against us, who weren't quite good enough. And you're trying to, you're letting them do it. You go and press 4 or 5 bodies. And if you can steal the ball off them, then you're going to get opportunities. I wouldn't come away from it too much. Late on, if it's not, it's almost a plan A, plan B. Sorry, is what he's asking. I think if you're trying to play out and it's not working, do you then go a little bit more direct? And I think we did towards the end, but Charlton were happy with that. I think we could have played. If anything, I still fancied us to play a little bit more through them. 3 or 4 times in the game, we almost got in. Was Dan Neil playing those little clever balls into Carl Winchester on the overlap or the underlap as he did on one occasion. That was our best avenue, I felt, from getting back into the game. But we did go long, and it just didn't come off for us. It could be one of those where we could have been here for another half an hour, another 45 minutes there, and we still might not have scored. That's just how games go sometimes. Okay, thanks, Danny. We'll move on. Last one. Here we go from Kevin. Does Winchester need to be back in the midfield once Huggins or another right-back is in to replace him? Or would you convert him to a permanent right-back based on his performances this season? Well, he asked that question, but who does he want Carl Winchester to go into midfield to replace? It's either got Luke 09 or Corey Evans, because I certainly wouldn't be taking Dan Neil out of there. So if he's asking that question, I don't know. It's something that I'm sure we'll look at, because when Huggins has played, a couple of games he played, I think Wigan in the Cup in particular, he was excellent. He's going to be out for about 3 months. Yeah, he's out for a while, so I wouldn't look too far ahead of that. I know he's asking the question, would I look to get Winchester into midfield? I think if you're looking at in the moment, those 2 sitters, what we play, you've got Dan Neil, for me, as a nailed on one. I wouldn't take him out of there. So then it's Corey Evans coming back from injury, keeps picking up little niggling injuries, and then Luke 09's in there, who's obviously got an injury himself with his shoulder he keeps on feeling. So competition, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on in there, Winchester, because last season he was in and out of the team in midfield, really, but I think he's been excellent at right-back this season. So I wouldn't be in a hurry to try and get him out of there. Huggins is still going to be a month or 2 away, and I think Carl Winchester's been excellent. I don't think he gets done too many occasions. 1v1, defends well, gets forward well. He had a couple of opportunities today, got in behind, and fizzed those balls in behind. So we'll have to see, when Huggins gets back from his injury, how things are. Okay, Danny, thanks for your thoughts on that one, and thanks for everyone as well for your hashtags this afternoon. Hashtag Ask Danny will be back at the next game. Now, Sunderland are in action on Tuesday in the EFL Cup against QPR down at their place. We won't be carrying that game here on SAFC Live because of broadcasting exclusivity, but we will be back against Rotherham on the 30th, Saturday the 30th, Sunderland versus Rotherham down at their place, and we'll be on air from 2:30 for a 3 p.m. kickoff. Whatever you're doing this evening, do take care. We'll see you next time.